Okay, you should see a slide up now. The Paralegal MasterClass, a blue background. Let me make sure you're seeing that. Okay. And under the bottom of the slide, it has Persevering during career challenges. Now, the Paralegal MasterClass is a series. So there are series that have occurred in the past, and then we'll also have some in the future as well, and there will be different presenters. This particular session I felt was good for the end of the year, where during this time there's a lot of transitions going on. People are rethinking not just their career, but their lives overall, where people are creating New Year's resolutions, things that they want to change in the new year. And one of those being your career. There may have been challenges that have occurred in your career, and now you're just ready for a change. So this particular masterclass is focused on just that, helping you to transition and also providing some tips on how you can go about transitioning either to a new career or a business if that's something you're interested in doing, or if you're in a company and you're facing, let's say office politics, some ways and strategies that you can handle that so that you do not derail your career. Now, the theme of this particular masterclass is when the going gets tough, the best paralegals keep on rising. Challenges come. Challenges are a part of life, and dodging challenges is not what makes someone successful. It is dealing with those challenges and dealing with them appropriately and moving on. It's not the challenge itself that defines a person or defines someone's career. It is how those challenges are dealt with, meeting those challenges head on, dealing with them, and moving on. And so that's why in this particular masterclass, the theme is when the going gets tough, the best paralegals keep on rising. Not the best paralegals that are the ones that have the degrees or have the most experience. It's those paralegals that know how to deal with challenges, career challenges, not just challenges of how to use new office technology or how to draft legal documents, but challenges that deal with, let's say, office politics. That's part of a career, and a lot of times when you're trained, you don't get trained on how to deal with office politics, especially politics within a legal organization, which is a lot of times different than the politics that you will deal with working in, let's say, a corporate environment, or let's say a nonprofit organization. Law firms are different because you're dealing with attorneys. Attorneys are known to have very strong personalities, and as a paralegal, you're working under an attorney with one of these strong personalities, and sometimes it can be really difficult, including the other issues that come into play when you're working just with other people in an office. So in this session, we'll talk about how to properly handle office politics, how to deal with a difficult supervisor, and then just determining when it's time to move to the next level in your career. Some challenges come because it's pushing you. It's pushing you forward. It's allowing you to look at those things in your career that are uncomfortable, that really aren't working for you anymore. You may have just become stagnant. And if that challenge does not come your way, you would never change. You would never move on. So sometimes those challenges are a way for you to know that it's time for you to move on to the next level. And then we'll also talk about some strategies that you can use in order to move on to the next level or to transition into a new job or a new career. One of those being temporary employment, determining if that's right for you, and also some really good business options for paralegals. Now, office politics. This is part of everyone's job. There's office politics that occur all the time, whatever that may be. It may be something on a small scale, where the secretary is the favorite of the attorney, and whatever needs to be done, it has to be filtered through her, even though you're the paralegal. It may be something huge where there's something going on like a culture that allows for inappropriate sexual comments to be made. And that's just part of the culture. And it's become more like office politics because you have to determine how you handle that situation without it affecting your career. If you enjoy your job or if you're not in a position to move on to another job or a new company. The best place to start in understanding office politics and dealing with it appropriately is to know your organization's culture. Know the culture, know the firm's formal and informal hierarchy. The formal hierarchy is what's on paper. You know, you have your partners, you have your associates, you have paralegal, legal secretary, file clerk, receptionist. This is what's on paper. This is a paper hierarchy. But you also have your informal hierarchy where the receptionist is the niece of one of the partners in the firm. And she does not transfer your calls properly. She is really rude to clients. She's rude to you, and there's really nothing you can do about it because when you try to deal with it in the past, it's been brushed off because this is the niece of the partner. So this is an informal hierarchy. She's really higher than you in some aspects because what she says really trumps what you say. So this is an informal hierarchy. This is something that's not written on a piece of paper, but it's really important for you to know this. Because if you don't handle it appropriately, you can really be putting your job in a really uncomfortable position for you not to know things like that. So that's that informal hierarchy that's part of office politics that is important for you to know about. What about when someone takes ownership of your work? You know, when you're working on a team and you're working with you, let's say an attorney, another paralegal, and you're the one that does all the legwork. Not in this instance where the attorney is taking ownership, because of course that's what happens. The paralegal does the work, you know, and the attorney's the one that files it with his or her name on it. But not in that sense, in the sense where, let's say there's a company meeting and, you know, all the praise is going to, you know, like say a paralegal or even, let's say an attorney that he really just doesn't let anyone know that you're doing a great job. It's really not about you wanting to be praised, but you wanting to be recognized for your work because that is what determines whether you will be promoted, whether you're given a raise or not. So the fact that there are some issues going on with that, how do you deal with that? Because you have to tread lightly on those particular types of issues because you don't want to be the type that toots your own horn at the wrong time. It's important to toot your own horn and let others know of what you're doing, how well you're doing, you know, what you're good at, but it's also not a good thing to toot your own horn at the wrong time because it can come off as being obnoxious and arrogant, you know, and also if you don't do that at the appropriate time, it might just seem to be, you know, something that you're doing just to, let's say, take all the credit for something. You can be looked at as not being a team player. But it's really important to not allow someone to take ownership of your work when it's hindering you from being promoted, when it's hindering you from getting a raise, especially if someone is taking ownership of your work and that particular person, let's say it's a paralegal that you work on a team, or let's say you're new. Let's say you're new and you're actually light years ahead of another paralegal that's been at the company or an organization for a long time. And you're the one that's doing all the legwork, and that particular person is taking all of the credit, and it just looks like they're doing it because they've been there for so long, so it doesn't even seem realistic for you to have done the type of work that you've done. So this other person is taking all the credit. This person actually gets a promotion and a raise off of your work. You know, so how do you deal with those particular types of issues, especially if you're new, because that person has seniority. And seniority a lot of times plays into office politics where someone is, you know, they've been there a long time. They have a track record with the organization that you're working for. So understanding how to deal with that is important, and it really allows you to be able to transition effectively, being able to advance to your next level, because sometimes your ability to advance is actually being hindered. And it's not a good idea to, play the blame game or the victim role, and blame someone else for the reason why your career is stagnant or the reason why you can't reach the next level. Never want to do that. You want to take ownership of your career. But you also have to be realistic and look at all of the issues that are at play and not ignore things. Not ignore the elephant in the room. This paralegal that's, taking ownership, he or she does this to everybody. If someone seems like they're getting ahead, she may start to play really dirty and start to do things to undermine your advancement. Well, that's something that needs to be dealt with because that is something that is hindering your ability to move forward in your career. But you have to deal with that particular issue carefully because, again, when someone's been at a firm for a long time, they have, more credibility. They have a more track record. So if you don't deal with it appropriately, you'll be looked at as like a tattletale. You're just telling you don't want to be a team player. But that's part of office politics that you have to consider. Also, think about the office grapevine. Don't ever go to work and start a new organization and think that your coworkers are your best buds that you should just be sharing all of your personal information with, and that it's going to stay between you and that person. Always assume that it's going to be passed on. If you don't want that information shared with someone else, then don't share it with someone in the office thinking that they're going to keep it to themselves. Because next thing you know, you're just the highlight of everyone's day. This office grapevine is pretty much all about you because you shared something personal. You were needing, a shoulder to lean on, and this person seems to be someone that you can talk to. Work is not for that. If you need to, vent or get something off your chest, you may, of course, rely on someone outside of the office. But if you don't have that option, go talk to a career counselor. Talk to someone that is impartial, that you feel like is unbiased, that you can talk to about the issues that are going on at home. Definitely don't want to go to work and vent all your personal frustrations and your issues going on because that can be something that can be used against you and keep you from advancing on, especially if it looks like you can't keep your personal and your work life in balance. And here's an article here. You can click on this. You'll have access to this recording afterwards. So click on here, and I believe the slides, you may have access to the slides, but click on this link. It'll take you to an article about how to deal with different scenarios and how to deal with office politics called How to Get Along at Work Without Playing Dirty. There's a lot of issues that can play into that. Coworkers. You can be the subject of bullying or cyberbullying. Today, there's LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, where a lot of times your friends or your followers or connections can be your coworkers, and something nasty could have happened. You might be up for a promotion, someone else may, and now someone that used to be your friend at work is now someone that's become your arch enemy, and that starts spiraling into cyberbullying. Or let's say a supervisor, let's say now you're actually dealing with sexual harassment. So now this has turned from office politics into something that really is going more on the lines of your rights being violated. So you have to know how to appropriately deal with that because some organizations have a culture where that is fostered. But again, there's a way for you to handle those situations so that you do not derail your career. You don't have to. Challenges happen. You have to deal with all kinds of different issues. Some of them not easy. Some of them very, very difficult. Sexual harassment. That's a very serious issue. But some organizations, because of the balance between male and female, and there's this culture of the good old boys club. Some things are okay. It's okay. It's part of the culture. But that culture is making you uncomfortable. But you like your job, you like what you're doing, this particular job is on your ladder to getting to the next level. Leaving there just seems like it's going to totally throw your whole career off. There's ways and strategies to be able to deal with that appropriately without allowing yourself to just be, dumped all over and for you to be violated and feel uncomfortable. Some organizations have hostile work environments. It's created that way. It's fostered. It's them. It's just very cutthroat, and that's just the way that the culture is. So you have to determine in those situations how you're going to handle that. So again, your career is not derailed. Difficulties and challenges don't have to just make your career go into this tailspin where you have to quit and now you've been laid off or have a job without 2 years. There's this huge gap on your resume. You can't get a job because you were actually victimized in the situation and you felt like your only option was to quit. There's ways that you can handle those particular types of situations. One is transitioning. You may need to get a new job. I know that sounds simple. Well, just go get another job. Sometimes it takes time to do that, to transition into a new job. And we'll talk about effective ways that you can do that. But sometimes that is the answer. That's what's needed. That's the solution to the problem that you're being presented with. Sometimes you just need to change jobs within the same firm. It could be just a particular supervisor. It may just be that. It may just be a particular coworker that you love the organization, you love the benefits, you love your pay, and the firm is big enough for you to transition into another job. If you can do that, great. Look for ways for you to effectively do that. Or you may just have to find a job outside of that particular company because it could be the culture of that company, or transitioning into a new job would create more issues. So it may just be time to move on to a new job. Or a new career. Let's say you're not a paralegal now and you want to become a paralegal. You can transition into the paralegal career field. I'll give an option in a while how you can do that. But let's say you're a paralegal and you're getting bored. You've been a paralegal for years, maybe even decades, and you're just bored with it. Or it's just time for you, just sense that it's time for you to move on to something new. You can transition. Let's say, for instance, you have a medical background. There was a paralegal that presented at one of our summits years ago who had a medical background. I believe she even was a nurse, and then she became a paralegal. So she was actually the go-to person for a lot of medical cases and medical cases that involve medical issues. There's also something called legal nurse consulting, where nurses get the legal training and some of them work for themselves, some of them are consultants, and they have that legal and that nursing background where they can consult on cases dealing with, let's say, personal injury, medical malpractice, cases that someone with the medical knowledge is very useful. Or let's say e-discovery. Let's say you have technology, a lot of technology knowledge. Or so let's say you don't, but that's something you want to go into. You can be trained as an e-discovery specialist and work on discovery specific to technology. There's ACEDS, ACEDS, where you can Association Certified E-Discovery Specialist, where actually they provide certification for those interested in becoming e-discovery specialists. Then you also have a lot of schools and organizations that are starting to offer e-discovery training. So that's an option as well. Or let's say you're a legal secretary. You can become a paralegal. Some firms will hire you, some will promote within someone that has a legal secretary training or background into becoming a paralegal. So there's different careers that you can transition into in the legal industry, or if you're not in the legal industry, being able to transition into a new career. This may be what you need right now in your career, just a change, something different. Time to move on to the next level. And these are good options to be able to do that. One way to do that is do some freelance work. You can become a freelance paralegal. Some freelance paralegals work in the office of attorneys and legal organizations. Others provide their work virtually, with technology, and they're able to provide paralegal services. They work, they're contracted, they work for themselves. You know, some may be employees of a particular firm or organization, others are not. There's ways that you can transition into becoming a freelancer virtual paralegal. One, a company called Freelancer, it's freelancer.com. You go on there, create a free account, pretty much put what's considered to be your resume within the site on the site, and then you just start, others can contact you, or you can reach out and look for jobs that are looking, let's say, for someone with a legal background, someone with a paralegal background, they may be looking for someone specifically for legal research. And so you can go to Freelancer. Another option, LinkedIn now has an option where not just jobs, where, you know, if you go into a lot of these groups, they have job sections that you can look for. But this is something different. I haven't looked too much into it, but they have, it sounds like it's similar to a Freelancer, where there's jobs where employers and others that are looking for potential candidates can reach out and connect with those individuals, not like the job postings. So it seems like it's a little bit more intensive than, and a little bit more has the ability for you to connect with someone similar to like Freelancer. Upwork is another option. It's Upwork.com is their website, where it used to be Elance, but now it's Upwork. You can go on there, create a free account as well, put in what's considered your resume. If you have a website, do that. If not, use theirs, and you apply for different jobs. You're working pretty much for yourself, and you get paid through Upwork. You know, so if you're working on a particular job, you don't know the person, you don't feel comfortable, you don't want to, you know, feel like you're getting dipped if you do all this work and you don't get paid, you can require that particular company or the person, sometimes it's individual, to put money in an escrow account prior to you starting the work. So the escrow account is with Upwork. So let's say, for instance, you're charging $200 for this particular work. They put this money in the escrow account, and you see it's there, and it works for both of you. You get the comfort of knowing that you're going to get paid when you finish, and then they know that you're going to do the work. So the money's there. Once you do the work, then the funds are released to you. And then other ways to do freelancing or virtual paralegal work is with business contacts from that past employment. You may have worked for firms in the past or attorneys in the past, and you can reach out to them and see if they need some seasonal help, see if they need, you know, let's say like now during the holidays, a lot of people may be taking vacations, but then there may still be a huge workload. You can fill in during those times, if someone may be going on maternity leave, other things may go on, or there may be a big case that is being worked on and the firm needs overflow. They need overflow work. So instead of going to a temporary agency, if they know you, they know your past work, they can hire you for that. And also, temporary work is a great option. Temporary work is good for those that may not want to do the, you know, January to December 40 hours a week schedule. You know, someone may have small children. There's just, you know, one thing that causes, you know, for some it's considered a challenge, because when the person has a child, there's new things that they have to take into consideration. So for some, that can create some issues in their career. Well, temporary work is a really good way to be able to handle that. You can still, you know, keep your resume fresh, but then you can determine when you're available and when you're not. You know, you contact temporary agencies, sign up, let them know when you're available. If you're not available, you contact them and let them know that you're not going to be available for this period of time, so they don't call you for work. And then you can also choose what type of work you're interested in. If you want to transition into something, a different practice area, you can ask that you be contacted for specific types of jobs, or just apply for particular types of jobs. And two agencies that are, you know, good to go that you can check out, Kelly Law Registry is one. Robert Half Legal is really good. I've actually worked for Robert Half Legal. Their legal division as well. They have an accounting division. I've worked for both. So they're really good in temporary work. And also, if you're looking for temporary work that can lead to permanent employment, that's a really good option. So now I'm going to show a short video from Robert Half Legal about salary and hiring trends.
Both law firms as well as corporate legal departments are looking for candidates with stable work histories and proven track records. They're putting a premium on lawyers with technology skills and especially lawyers with interpersonal skills to be able to handle client matters correctly. Global firms and corporations are seeking lawyers with international law experience as well and fluency in foreign language to handle their cross-border matters. New business is driving increased patent filings and litigation. So patent attorneys that have backgrounds in engineering, advanced degrees, graduate degrees are certainly in demand. And other lawyers that have MBAs and experience in banking and finance are also seeing additional compensation and opportunities within the legal community. Highly specialized candidates are seeing a few things as they look for opportunities. Number one, multiple job offers. Number two, signing bonuses. Number three, increased salaries and higher compensation. And finally, most candidates are seeing counteroffers once they've accepted another position. Law firms are hiring more and more paralegals in order to deliver high-quality legal services at a lower price point than historically they have done with associates or partner bill rates. Experienced paralegals are also being hired by corporations to be able to perform multiple job functions. Backgrounds in compliance, contracts and lease administration, e-discovery, and litigation are all very important. Higher compensation obviously is offered to these candidates with these in-demand skill sets. Legal secretaries with 3+ years of experience in high-demand practice areas such as insurance, financial services, real estate, and healthcare are also demanding a premium. I think it's important to remember that the unemployment figures within the legal community are far less than the national averages. So if I was a hiring manager, I would be focused on a couple of key components. Lawyers, paralegals, and support staff are looking for a challenging work environment, not just top pay. They're looking for other non-financial benefits like leadership training, professional development, and flexible work arrangements that offer a work-life balance, telecommuting, job sharing, and flexible schedules. And finally, once that candidate's on board, focus on retention aspects for that candidate as well. Maybe reverse mentoring or exposing that candidate to additional tools that they can use to advance their careers.
So that was just a short video on salary and hiring trends, which is great because actually it gives you an idea of what areas employers are looking for, what skills they're looking for legal support professionals. So if you're looking to transition into a different practice area, looking to transition into a new career within the legal industry, those are some good places to start. And he mentioned e-discovery. He mentioned certain industries or practice areas like real estate, healthcare law, which is huge because now the population is aging, as well as real estate and insurance. So those are some areas that if you're looking for a career transition, for you to look deeper into, see what skills are needed, see if there's any specific type of training that you need in order to work within those particular practice areas. Now, what if you're just ready to start your own business? A lot of paralegals have went on to create their own businesses. Some have started successful freelance paralegal businesses, contract paralegal services, and virtual paralegal services. Where virtual, again, you're using technology. You can work for attorneys around the world, really, because you're using technology, and you can connect with them in these different locations. You can provide contract work where you're just called in every so often, and you work within someone's office. So you can create your own business by providing paralegal services. But you can also start your own business by marketing legal services. Now, in the legal industry, we know that, if you work for a law firm, a paralegal cannot do that. A paralegal, you can't market legal services, can't set fees. You have what are called rainmakers. These are attorneys these are the ones that are known. They're going to bring in the big business for a law firm, So when you hear of a paralegal being a rainmaker, it's like, well, how does that work? You can't do that. How is that ethical, or how can you do that ethically? Well, one way of doing that is, a paralegal can really be a rainmaker by retaining clients. In the previous video, he talked about retention being part of a hiring practice. But retention is also important for clients and customers of a law firm. It's one thing to bring someone in. It's another thing to keep them there. And so a paralegal is oftentimes the person that's communicating with the client the most. So rainmaking, taking on a whole new, thinking of it outside of the box, a paralegal can play a key role in that by making sure that they have extraordinary communication skills, extraordinary interpersonal skills as well. But another way to do that is to start their own Legal Shield business. And if you're not familiar with Legal Shield, I'm going to show a quick video here at the end, and I also put some information here. And if you're interested in this, I can connect you with, his name is Jose Barros, and he had another engagement today. So I'm not sure if he's going to be logging into this particular presentation, but he is available to contact anyone personally that's interested in this opportunity. This is where you start your own business. A Legal Shield business. You have all the resources that you need. Now, the benefit of going this route versus the route of providing paralegal services or e-discovery services on your own is when you do that, you're building a business from the ground up. You're doing everything yourself, or you're paying for it yourself. Website, emails, business cards, contacts, everything. You're doing everything yourself, which can be extremely difficult and time-consuming. A lot of people look at entrepreneurship like you just have all this free time on your hand, you set the schedule, you have no boss, no one's telling you what to do, no one's telling you when to come in the office. That could not be the furthest from the truth. You actually work more when you have your own business, because a lot of times if you don't have the capital, you're doing a lot of things yourself. Maybe doing your own website. You're contacting, you're everything. You're the marketer, you're the advertiser, you're the accountant, you're the receptionist, you're the customer service representative. You are the person providing the services as well. You're doing everything. You wear all hats. And I know if you work for a small firm, you may think, well, I'm doing that already anyway. I wear all the hats. I am the receptionist at the law firm. I am the billing clerk. But it's nothing compared to what you would be doing if you start your own business. So with Legal Shield, you have the benefit of having your own business, but you have more of a, like I say, more, just like it's a little bit, you have a lot more of a cushion. You have people that you can reach out to coach you. You have videos, you have workshops you can go to in whatever area you live in to help you. You can even have contacts that are fit for you, so if someone signs up that they're interested in Legal Shield, and I'll talk to you for a second about what it is before I show you the video, you get those contacts, so you reach out to them. And I'm not saying this is easy either, but as far as capital is concerned, you have your own website, you have your own customer relationship system where you use that to reach out to clients. You have a lot of what you need, well, actually all of what you need for the most part to start your own business, where if you do your own virtual or freelance business, you're doing that on your own. Now, Legal Shield, what that is and you may have it through your employer. A lot of employers have this where they offer their employees legal protection plan. So if someone, let's say, has a car accident, you just call that attorney. You're paying, $20 a month, or your employer's covering it for you. But if they're not, you pay this $20 a month. If you get in a car accident, or let's say you have a teenager, you know, and the teenager gets in a car accident, they're covered as well. Call your law firm. They deal with this issue for you. Actually have an attorney. Going through a divorce, going through a custody issue, let's say housing, let's say you purchased something and it's defective and the company doesn't want to reimburse you for it or allow you to exchange it. Contact your attorney, they handle it for you. A lot of people can't afford the services of an attorney, or some people want to buffer themselves that in case they need one, at that they have one available. You know, let's say something happens, and you know, a lot of times you can't plan for these things, and at that time a person may not have the money to pay for an attorney, so they go without. And there's been studies done that a lot of people go without attorneys when they actually need them. So Legal Shield actually fills that gap in there. And so that's what you would be doing. You would be actually selling the services. You don't have to. Only thing you're doing is educating someone on Legal Shield. That's it. They have their own customer service department. They have attorneys that do all that work. They have their own paralegals. So you're not even providing paralegal services. You're just educating people on what they can receive if they sign up for the service. So they're not out there uncovered. It's like driving a car, getting in a car accident, and there's all this damage, and there's nothing you can do. Same thing with the legal issues. These things occur all the time, you know, not planned for, and so the person is covered. They have an attorney that they can contact. So this is it's a great option for, I say, paralegals, because the paralegal has the understanding of the legal workings and the importance of having legal protection. So it's a lot easier to be able to market those services and to educate people on the need for it. So I'm going to show a quick video here on Legal Shield and that opportunity.
For what seems like a generation, the economy is struggling. People in all walks of life are experiencing tough times with no clear way out. Examples of inequality and injustice continue to dominate the news, making personal success seem even less possible in a world that's increasingly unfair. Young people are underemployed and in debt, and those at retirement age aren't financially prepared to retire. Well, what if I told you everything can change? It can. Social, technological, and economic trends are changing everything, creating a new economy based on disruptive innovation and a financial opportunity for those who take action. Get in front of the trends and be a part of disrupting an industry by joining Legal Shield. There's never been more exciting time in Legal Shield. I like it when I think about it. We have a disruptive business model. It's really shifting the way business is done. Look at how Uber changed the taxi industry, Amazon changed the book industry, and Netflix changed the way we watch movies. Imagine what your life would look like today if you position yourself to profit the change in those industries. Well, Legal Shield is doing the exact same thing as the legal services industry.
There's a lot of transformation that if I had gotten involved with, I would be completely very wealthy right now. Luckily for us, we found Legal Shield, and this is our opportunity. This is us getting in front of somebody. So I missed a lot of other opportunities, but we're right in front of Legal Shield, setting an example of what's possible on a part-time basis so that other people will realize that this is a huge opportunity.
So many are searching for ways to make more money, and Legal Shield provides that opportunity. As a pioneer of the sharing economy, we disrupted the legal services industry, providing affordable access to the justice system. And we've used the same model to provide comprehensive identity theft protection and restoration services. Today, our services and leading-edge technology create a unique business opportunity for you.
Society has called us to our concept.
I mean, let's be honest, it's a gig economy. You know, people look for different ways to bring in extra money. People have finally accepted what we've been telling them for years, that a job is a great place to start start, but a bad place to finish.
If there is a better way, and this is it, why not check it out? To be your own boss, and then you don't have the headaches, the paperwork, the overhead, the employees, the hassles of having a traditional business. It's the perfect business.
To put it simply, Legal Shield is an opportunity for you to have and do more. Travel the world, volunteer in your community, spend more time with family and friends. Whatever you want to do, with Legal Shield, you can achieve the freedom necessary to do it.
We have a 5 and a 6-year-old. So as a mom, I just love being able to work from home. And the cool thing is, I can work when I want. I can be at the park taking a phone call, walking someone through my website, and they sign up, and then I get paid the very next day. I can work when I want, or I can play with the kids when I want. I get to dictate my own time schedule. I get to dictate my own income. I get to live life truly on my own terms because it's not someone else's dream that I'm living. It's my own.
I was able to go from being a real estate agent on the sales treadmill for the rest of my life, got started up in a part-time business from home with Legal Shield a few hours a week, and in my first year, I was able to replace that income, and ever since the last 17 years, I've been a stay-at-home dad with my son. I've been a stay-at-home entrepreneur with my business, and I live life on my own terms.
How do you put a price tag on helping other people fire their bosses, drive their dream cars, and go on vacations, right? Be able to spend time with their families. It's amazing. We set so many business partners of mine free from a traditional corporate America job.
First thing I saw was a financial opportunity to better my life. And I think it's just so beautiful that throughout the process of realizing that dream, I was able to see I was changing a lot of lives from the product perspective. And the higher purpose really is to make the world a better place. It sounds kind of cheesy or corny, but that's actually what we're doing. Every North American, just like you, needs our services. And our innovative apps put the services in the palm of your hand. There's never been a more exciting time in Legal Shield because we are positioned for massive growth, and you can be a part of that growth. Our mobile apps and professional tools make it easy for you to share our services with others. That's the game. Start part-time, follow a proven system, and you determine your earning potential. Now is the time to do what so many others have already done. Start your own Legal Shield business. For more information and to learn the multiple ways to create income in today's economy with Legal Shield, get back with the person who shared this video.
Okay, so that's more about Legal Shield. If you're interested, again, feel free. I'm going to type in my email address. I'll connect you with Jose Barros, and he's really good. And he can talk to you about answer any questions that you have, help you get signed up, and, tell you about more of the opportunities. A lot of times they're doing giveaways and trips and things like that. A couple other Paralegal Rainmakers, members signed up and, got started. You talk to them and help them get started, so you can do the same with you as well. So if you're interested, even if you're not a member, you can still get started with Legal Shield if that's something that you're interested in. So this is just another option for you to transition into a new career, into a new job. You want to start your own business, and just a way to be able to deal with things that occur in your career. You may have had a baby, you may have had family changes, something may be going on in your current company, you're not comfortable in anything, or you maybe just want to change. New Year's up, we'll be in a whole new year, 2017, about 2 more weeks. At this time, a lot of people are thinking about ways to change their life, and this may be one way that you can do that. Temporary work may be looking to go into a different practice area, a different career altogether. So, hopefully this is useful for you and help you to chart your own path to success. Challenges do not have to derail your career. It's the way that you deal with challenges that creates success. A successful person is not someone that has never had any challenges. A successful person has had those challenges. They failed, but they got up again. And so a way to create success is to get up. If you get knocked down, if you fall down, if you get punched down, you know, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of issues that happen where literally it feels like you were just punched to the ground. You know, some people have had deaths in their families, you know, older parents that they're taking care of. There's a lot of things that happen that are challenges. You know, so the key is to get up. Don't stay down. Get up. Know that you can get up, and there's a variety of different ways to be able to do that. So I hope this particular session was useful for you. You can register. Again, the Paralegal Masterclass is a series. If you want to access past sessions, they're on demand. We have one on enhancing your career with technology. That was presented by Rocket Matter Legal Content Director. How Paralegals can Improve Client Care. That was presented by Term D. Molly at the Rainmakers Roundtable. We have a couple of sessions on here from ambassadors with the Paralegal Division of the State Bar of Texas, and one on here from the California Alliance of Paralegal Association. So if you're interested in any of these or all of them, sign up. And here's a link down here so you can click on it. But just go to rainmakersonline.com, and under Paralegal Rainmakers, if you click on that, there's a drop down, and you'll see Paralegal Masterclass. Sign up. It's complimentary. All of the past sessions. In the future, most of the live sessions, every once in a while, we'll have complimentary sessions, but for the most part, the future live sessions will be part of the Paralegal Rainmakers membership. But you can access all of these here. These are, you know, just sign up. They're free. So you can go to our website, either go to this link, you can go directly to it, or go to rainmakersonline.com, hover over Paralegal Rainmakers, drop-down menu comes up, you click on the Paralegal Masterclass, and then sign up there, and you can get access to all of these particular sessions. So again, I hope this particular session was useful and that it provided you with some information, tools, resources to help you to transition and to be able to keep your career on track regardless of what situation comes your way. So if you have any questions, I'm going to open it up now for any questions that you might have.